Hello, and welcome. I am Webweaver, and I'm so glad you found my channel here today. This is where I do a one card tarot reading just to give us some guidance for our day ahead. As always, these readings are for entertainment purposes only, and I am using the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck. This deck is different than traditional tarot, so I do have notes that I pull from to help guide my reading. All right, so I hope you've had a lovely Sunday. I hope you had a lovely weekend. It is raining here, which it hasn't done in a couple weeks. We've needed it. And the weather is cooling down, so I'm glad that yesterday was a beautiful day. The numbers are just amazing from yesterday. If you joined us in the No Kings rallies, I think Alt National Parks has their final tally at 8.1 million people. So way to go. All right, this reading is going to be for Monday, October 20th. What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? What's our message for the day? What do we need to know for the day? All right. I am going to split the deck. I do not read reversals. And we have the Six of Earth. So give me one moment while I pull that out and bring you down. All right. So the Six of Earth reminds us of our responsibility and duty to our family, especially the younger members. It asks us to be selfless and in service to those who are in need or dependent on us for love, care, and support. If you have children, it's your responsibility to provide for them and keep them safe. If you do not have children, this is a reminder that you have a responsibility to both humanity and Gaia to become the best person you can. Help where you can. It may signify that there is a matter that needs taken care of in the present. If that is the case, do not forget or delay. So we are meant to be providers, nurturers, teachers, whether it's for our own children, whether we're part of a village, or just taking care of humanity in general. We're meant to be a community. You know, I teach social studies. I taught world history when I was teaching. And you know, these civilizations formed and the people had roles and they took care of each other. Individuals tended not to be able to survive as well on their own. Everybody had a role, they played a part. I'm not saying that that's going to work today. The world is far too different. There's far too many people. It is far too large. However, it bothers me when I see things like oh, this person laid on the street and was dying of a heart attack and people just stepped over them. Like, um, it's almost like we're afraid to interact. We're afraid we're going to overstep. We're afraid that we're going to be mistreated for asking if somebody needs help. But we need to kind of step outside of those fears. I'll tell you a short story. I went shopping at a local grocery store, um, one town over. It's a little local thing. It's not a chain store. And when I went to go inside, there was a man in a car next to me who was sitting at the steering wheel, kind of looked like he was napping, dozed off, what have you. I went and did my shopping and I came back out and he was still there. And there was a lady who had also gone in before me who was standing there and she's like, he's been in there since I went in there. I sure hope he's okay. And then she got in her car and left. And I'm thinking, what if this man's having, a crisis or an emergency? And she just like dumped it on my shoulders and got in her car and left. So I put my groceries away and in the car, and I looked over and he's still just sitting there, kind of like he's napping and kind of breathing heavy. So I went and I was like, you know what? I can't just leave. I can't. I just that's not me. So I tapped on his window and I woke him up and I said, I'm sorry. It's just you were here when I went in and I wanted to make sure you were okay. And he said, oh yeah, I'm fine. Thank you so much. It's that kind of thing, right? We're supposed to take care of each other. So I think that's what we're being called to. In the world today, there's so much division. There's so much us versus them and good versus evil and all of these things. Eh, We're supposed to be a community. We're supposed to look out for one another. If somebody needs help, we're supposed to, if we can, help in some way. And it doesn't have to be monetarily, it can be. It doesn't have to be that you buy something to donate, but it can be, you know, it, in whatever way you can. We're supposed to be a community, and I kind of feel like that's the message of this card. While it does mention, children, we need to bring our children up to be good people, right? To be the kind of people that'll tap on that window and say, hey, do you need some help? That kind of thing. But if you don't have kids, that's fine. You can still be that person, be that exemplar. And raising kids is hard. If you've done it, you know. If you're doing it, you know. This is not a walk in the park. Just had to have a conversation with my oldest yesterday about gratitude. He was given gifts at his birth for a early birthday from family members that won't be able to make it to his party, and um, he pouted and said that's not what he wanted. So we had to have a very serious conversation about gratitude and what giving of gifts really means, and how that makes people feel. You don't want to make somebody feel bad for thinking of you and buying you a gift because it wasn't exactly the gift that you were hoping they were going to give you that day. So, trying to teach them to be good people. It's hard. So if you have someone in your family who has children, be the village, but also be the exemplar in society. Don't be afraid to ask if somebody needs help, if somebody needs something. All right, I will step off my soapbox and leave that there for you tonight. Um, Feel free to pause the video and meditate on the imagery if you would like. Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow with our next reading. I hope that Monday is gentle and that you have a restful night of sleep. Blessed be.